Team 경기장 도시형.
Game 3 in this IPL Team Arena Challenge lower bracket finals, and our Terran player, after his team lost the last game, he has come out to try to get the lead again. It is OGS, the STC, and in the lower left, in the blue, representing NSHosa, is the winner of our last game, taking out 4GG, aka Finn. It is NSHosa's Seal.
Yes, it is, and we'll see what Seal can offer on this nice, large map. You know, the STC, you said, likes playing these good, long macro games.
Yep.
But macro TVZ is certainly a subject that's up for debate. We talked about it in the last game. It was Seal really had a big advantage going into the latter part of that game, so it's not like we were able to see them engage or see Finn engage the Broodlords on even footing or anything like that. But we'll see what what sort of a look he wants to give his opponent now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the Broodlords get out, you don't have anything except for a Thor and a couple Marines. You're like, well, there's not a lot you can do at that point other than maybe just like ask the Zerg to back off and give you 5 minutes to kind of collect yourself. That usually doesn't happen, you know. I try and they just never do.
No Rush 5, please.
Oh,
please,
well.
please.
Yep.
All right.
Ceasefire.
Yeah, so let's go
We're
ahead
just
and...
peaceful colonists.
There are peaceful colonists.
It's like, well, what was with the Hellions before that? We're like, well, we were scared. Sorry, look freaky.
Reminds me of that picture on Reddit, the one that hit #1 on r/StarCraft. It just said colonization, and it had a planet in the distance, and it was just a command center floating with the marker for the 5 SCVs that were inside on top of it.
First stop, the moon.
It made
Moon
me
base.
giggle. Moon base? I'm fine with that.
Sounds good.
What are you, Newt Gingrich?
No, I just like moon base.
Sorry, that was a politics joke. That was bad. Oof. I need to stray away from those.
He does want a
apparently.
moon base.
He does want a moon base.
I'd say that's definitely a point in his favor, if anything.
Yeah. Frank Zappa clearly wants one as well, the way he names his children.
Well, he just wants a moon unit.
Yes, that's true.
That's right.
Moon Unit Alpha, I believe.
Yeah.
Am I right on that? I think so.
No, I think it's just moon unit.
Moon Units.
Yeah.
Moon Unit Zappa.
Testing my knowledge of Frank Zappa's children's
Well.
names. Wow, you are getting obscure today, aren't you?
I'm winning, is what's happening. I go from Newt Gingrich jokes to Frank Zappa's children's
At
names.
least-
I need to back things up and start
least I know what you're
concentrating on
talking about.
StarCraft. Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Moon
Hatch
Unit
first
Zappa,
from
you're
Seal.
right.
Get that pool at about the normal time here. In the meantime, we have a gas coming up as well for STC, so probably going to see reactored Hellions out of this. It's kind of the common strategy to go for at this point.
And Seal decided to take that expansion at his natural rather than the backdoor one, of course. You can take that one a little bit later, and I'm sure he'll be a little bit happier with these positions as well, knowing that STC is not going to have the easiest access to that less defendable backdoor expansion by air.
Yep, very true. So the question is here, I mean, what is Seal going to go for? I haven't seen a whole lot of ZVT on this map, so I'm actually really curious to see what he decides to do. If he decides to take a fast third, for all we know, STC could be planning some sort of strong two-base attack to kind of take advantage of a Zerg that goes for a fast third and isn't really necessarily playing the safest. So Seal has to kind of think about these things. You know, he has this map that he could use, but if he decides to use it in the way that it's quote-unquote intended, he might end up falling to something that the SSC has been plotting here. And look at that, the factory not next to the barracks, so it looks like we're not actually going to see a reactored Hellion here. There is a reactor on the barracks, but don't be fooled. The factory is far away.
This is not the reactor you're looking for.
He could just be building the factory a ways away too, just so that if something comes up the ramp, it won't see it, but...
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Could easily put down a starport and go for something else as well.
He did build that pretty late. Of course, he does have the third command center coming up now.
Yep.
And a little bit of gas saved up, but not enough to put a starport down right away.
Okay, yeah. So he is going to go for reactored Hellions, just kind of trying to fake out his opponent, making sure that he can deny the most information possible.
Yeah, but certainly SCC is going to get a perfect read on everything his opponent is doing. He sees the third base up now. He gets a perfect scout. He sees exactly what gas production has had. This is one of the most valuable SCVs I've seen in a while.
Yeah, not bad. Unfortunately, he's not going to have a very long retirement, or no retirement at all.
Aww.
But the SDC knows what's going on, so yeah, it's kind of like, all right, we're going to play a macro game. No problem. That's just what we're going to do. It's getting 2 more gases, 1 more at the main, 1 more at the natural as well. I have to see what tech path he decides to go after that.
He's got his first couple of Hellions already out, and
look at this.
Banking a bit of resources. Oh, wow.
3 gas, actually, for Seal right now. Well, double engineering bay for SCC, so yeah, he's going to be going for those upgrades. But a lot of gas going up right away for Seal. Fairly quick, actually. So we'll have to see what he decides to do with it. Mutalisks are, of course, pretty good on this map. Be a bad way to go here. And who wins? Two Hellions or Queen?
Looks like fighting each other to a draw for the moment, but as soon as that Queen gets off of creep, it's going to be curtains for her. But
well, the Hellions can outrange her, so it should be two Hellions. Four Hellions certainly will win. Oh, but Spinecrawler evens up the odds.
Imba, Spinecrawler.
The Queen, though.
Does go down, unfortunately. Pretty big loss there, but took out one Hellion, almost got another one after that. Already +1/+1 on the way now for STC.
Yeah. That's right. He's got his first Evo Chamber on the way, or second Evo Chamber, rather, because he's getting that +1 carapace, like you mentioned.
All right.
So two Evo Chambers, but no Roach Warren or anything like that. And you'd think it'd be pretty handy for him, too, you know, just to pump out like 4 or 6 Roaches, just to stay a little bit safer. But he's going right up to Lair. He's going to want to save all the gas he can here. And that just does kind of make me think Mutalisks even more.
Looks like the live report thread was keen on Seal's creep spread last game as well. Good. Yeah, and STC was obviously watching that last game because he expended a scan really early on to make sure those creep tumors were shut down.
Yep. And that Queen was shut down too, so gonna need a new creep Queen out there doing her thing.
Doing her thing, and she is.
Yeah, similar play last game to this one as well, just staying safe on 3 bases instead of 2 bases. He did take his third a little bit quicker here, but still playing relatively safe.
Bit easier to do that on this map, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
STC transferring over some SCVs to his orbital command now. Taking a look around, he is comfortably on 3 bases as well, sitting on 49 workers to his opponent's 64, but of course does, even with a 14-worker deficit as it is now, has 4 mules down, and his economic rate is going to be quite good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As you can see there, I mean, he's actually a little bit ahead in minerals because of the mules, so it's not too surprising at all. Infestation pit right away from Seal, so I wonder if we're going to see him go for a little bit quicker Broodlords here, too. He might just be going Ling Infestor Ultra as well, but on this map, you know, where the running paths are rather narrow, I'd be surprised if he actually does go for that. Oh, surrounding some of the Hellions. Picks off one, and will he get any more? Can't quite trap him against the wall, so no. Just gets that one, but he does lose a lot of Zerglings as well. But yeah, I'd be surprised if he went for just a Ling Infestor Ultra. This could be kind of a way of going for that heavy Ling Infestor style with Broodlords added in very quickly as well. We see players like Stefano add that Roach Warren on just to stay a little bit safer, but Seal has done a pretty good job of holding off the Hellions on this map. It is a little bit easier to do that.
And there it is. Pathogen Glands coming up now. No Spire of any sort on the way quite yet.
No, not yet.
He does have so much gas, he's going to be able to put up a ton of Infestors right away. In fact, he'll have enough almost for 10 Infestors momentarily.
Yeah, pretty heavy stuff there. Meantime, the STC is going to have to defend a little bit of an attack here. Baneman's coming in as well. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Seal planned on doing with this. Well,
almost got a Baneling in there, but it doesn't actually hit anything. And Pathogen Glands is far enough along now, I believe, that he can start to add in some Infestors, and indeed, he is putting up 5 of those for now. Could dedicate some more gas to that, but choosing not to, actually going up to Hive and more upgrades.
Yeah, Hive right away too, but like you said, no Spire. So if he does get Ultras, that'll be a little bit surprising. You know, he could just be going for very, very fast Ultralisk too. I mean, if he does that, gets the Adrenal Glands, he can come up with a very strong attack and just try to break down the door of STC. As we just saw, though, on the production queue for the STC that stretches like halfway across the screen, he built a second factory as well and is getting siege mode. So soon he's going to be able to start producing 2 tanks at once. So he's going to have a very, very secure base here in a little bit.
And looks like Seal, he does pick up on the Hellions making their way out, but the Hellions know exactly what's going on. They know there's a 4th base on the way, and all the rest of those Zerglings are going to get cleaned up. So Hive Tech is 30 seconds away from finishing. When it gets done, of course, he'll probably put up that Ultralisk Cavern very, very quickly on. And he already does have quite the upgrade infrastructure to support those as well. 2-2 on the way. And he'll be able to lay into a bunch of upgrades in a second. His economy is quite good.
But it looks like Seal, or STC rather, gearing up for a push. Gonna try to hit that timing with +2/+2 here.
Oh, there was a Spire for 2 seconds, then it was canceled there, and then he started another one and an Ultralisk Cavern at once.
Oh, okay, all right, interesting. So doing Ultralisks, and then he's going to transition into Broodlords, it looks like later on. You know, he's just going to make some Ultralisks while the Greater Spire is building, and then try to kind of either kill the STC, and then if he doesn't, he'll have saved up enough to go corrupt or Broodlord, I would think then. as well. But interesting choice to go for Ultralisks right now. As everyone who listens to me knows, I'm obviously very skeptical about the usefulness of Ultralisks in a lot of situations. If they're controlled right, they're great, but they're just difficult to get, at the right angle in engagements.
He's going to have them remarkably quick, though. He's got pretty good Infestor support behind, but this is going to be sub 15 minutes Ultralisk started. There's only 5 more seconds, and then they're done. They're going to be well on the way soon. A pretty good fungal growth for number 1. He needs to hit a couple more without losing those Infestors, though. A couple of those get torn up. STC still has a really good number of units left over. Of course, Seal was delaying to get out some of those Ultras, but just nothing on the way quite yet.
Yeah, that didn't really accomplish a whole lot except for get Seal behind on supply, unfortunately. Nice target firing on the Banelings as well.
Yeah.
Wow, gets them all. That's worth it for those Marines right there.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to make their way out and start shooting at the hatchery, but of course Seal's going to be able to defend that, and STC picks right up.
Yep, and look at this. Ultra's on the way as well. More Ling upgrades, but he's lost a lot of Lings in the last few minutes trying to go after that aggression here. Losing those Infestors as well doesn't help one bit.
Oh, just lets the Medevac go. That Infestor just stares at it despite the fact that they had plenty enough energy. Well, he'll be able to use that energy on something else as STC is going to make his way in at the same time that he's dropping.
Yep, here we go. Scanning for the siege tanks, also dropping like you said. And it doesn't look like Seal quite has what it takes to take up this attack yet.
No, didn't react in time and lost that Infestor without doing any damage. This hatchery is going to fall, and well, he will eventually clean up this drop now, but at the cost of a base.
Yes.
Oh, no!
And an Ultralisk as well. Oh, man.
Oh, what were you doing?
Yeah, things just kind of falling apart for Seal. Oh, he finds the drones as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
bye-bye. See you later. Ugh. Yep. All right.
Well, despite his very good upgrades, Seal is significantly behind here on supply, and the army that he has, I just don't think is big enough to handle what STC has. STC's upgrades are pretty much just as good, almost as good, and it's bigger, too. It's just plain bigger.
And STC is starting an additional 2 command centers, so he'll be able to expand very quickly as well. The only thing that he's not really up on is that his infrastructure, his barracks infrastructure, isn't the best in the world. Oh, there's a fungal to pin down a good number of bio units. Ultralisk still don't have the ability to finish them off, though. They have to run away.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier on the narrow lanes on this map, I just don't know how Seal is ever going to find a good engagement for these Ultralisks, I mean, he has to engage in some of those wide open areas just outside the main bases, because when you kind of leave your natural expansion area on this map, everything becomes very narrow. Look at that.
Yes, very much so, and it's just very difficult for those Ultralisks to get the kind of engagement that they actually want. Yep. We do have our first 4 Broodlords morphing in now.
Yes, we do.
And
still,
yeah, I mean, STC is still really far ahead in this game, but we'll see if he can continue pushing now.
Oh, the Ultra's coming off the line. No fungals yet. He's saving those, trying to buy time until the Broodlords come out. And, I mean, for what it's worth, STC doesn't really have a lot to handle Broodlords again.
No.
He has a lot of Marines here, but the Infestors can kind of make short work of those.
And we'll see here now as the Broodlords, are they moving their way out quite yet? Yes, looks like they're going to swing in from the side here. A few more Broodlords are actually morphing in right now, STC. Let's see how he can react to this. That Infestor tried to land a fungal, wasn't able to get there quick enough, and here comes the offensive.
Yeah, he's going with a very high-tech army Infestor, Ultra Broodlord, and STC turns around and goes home. He's like, yeah, I think I need some stuff to handle those Ultralisks before I engage this. And, Broodlords, rather.
Building a couple of Vikings now, or just one, I should say, because he is maxed and he's not been able to free up any supply through an engagement or anything. So Seal, he's really far down, yes, but this army that he has, oh god, unless it all just gets crunched here, is pretty well prepared for what STC has on the field.
Yeah, is it big enough, though? I mean, it is a good composition, but he's still about 40 supply down. It's never a position you want to be in ZVT. The one really nice thing that he does have going for him is that STC is still sitting on 3 bases.
Yes, and like we said, Barracks infrastructure wasn't great, but he does have 6 more coming up now, and that's when he'll be able to reproduce very quickly.
Yep.
Seal going to start pushing this position, though. The siege tank's backing away. The first Broodling strikes are going to hit, and how is STC going to react?
What a strange game. I feel like this is the second game in a row where STC hasn't quite been ready for the Broodlords. I mean, Obviously, he's making 3 Vikings at once now, so he has kind of caught up a little bit here, but still it seemed like he was just a little bit unprepared for this again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, his teammates, Finn, didn't have any sort of indication of what was happening, and he's not been able to do the same either. Yep. So we'll see here how he wants to prepare, but we do have those three more Corruptors being added in now, and Seal, given enough time to macro, has been able to max off of this. He's sitting on just 61 workers, so pretty low drone count for this stage in the game, but yet he has a pretty massive army behind that.
Yeah, he's caught up.
And let's see here now as what is SDC going to do in response? He's played very passively. He obviously maxed way quicker than his opponent did and hasn't been able to capitalize on that. He didn't have the units to press in against that army.
Well, at this point, he's kind of trying to take that 4th base. And Seal, he's adding on a couple more Broodlords. Oh, there's a Brood Zergling there as well.
So annoying.
It's going to slow some things down and, more importantly, tell Seal that it's happening in the first place.
All right.
It's a tense situation. It could actually go either way at this point now.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for sure SDC, some aggression, was going to be able to clean things up earlier, but
bought himself time.
Yeah, left to his own devices, Seal can come up with a pretty frightening army composition.
Well, he's going right for the natural this time, not even bother trying to go for the 3rd because it was, well, actually there's no base right there now at this point, but...
All right, well, Seal, he's starting to siege this up. A lot of Broodlords on the high ground as well. The Ultralisk's not able to get anything done, but they don't have to. The Broodlords are doing enough, but this Bioforce is running unchecked through Seal's main.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's really a whole lot he can do to stop it. And, well, the Infestor's kind of chasing there.
Yeah.
Corruptor's actually going after the Medivacs as far as the Corruptor spell goes. That'll be nice. Huge amount of fungal growths there.
Oh, good God. That's a lot of damage output. Seal now starting to push this back. The Viking numbers are decreasing, and the Hive did not fall, so SDC, you know, didn't reset his opponent's tech. Would have loved to have been able to do that.
Yeah, Seal caught SDC in the exact right place. I mean, it could not have been any better for him to catch that right as it was going up the ramp. Fungled absolutely everything, and it all melted.
Yes, it did. And SDC going to swing around to this 4th now, but that's pretty well defended. We'll see if he controls, loses a few units right away, and he will clean up these Zerglings, but this should be enough to go ahead and delay and defend.
All right, looks like Seal, though, maybe wanting to do some sort of attack. He is kind of gathering near the natural of the SDC, but the SDC does have a decent amount of Marines at home as well.
Oh, man, that's just begging for a fungal growth, though. Oh, God.
Seriously.
All right.
Replace those green life bars with green goo.
Well, let's see if Seal can get that engagement that he really wants. SCVs, I don't know why you wanted to transfer right now. So you're not long for this world.
No.
All right, well, here it comes. Missile turrets sitting and driving back the Corruptors for now, but the Broodlords can't, of course, range those, and the missile turrets are going to fall momentarily. However, that does allow the Vikings to jump up to the front, but there's just not that many of them.
Yeah, STC is basically being sieged up by the Zerg player, trying to build up enough Vikings to go after everything. But even if he does, the Infestors are right there to try to fungal it all. Ultralisks just kind of being cheerleaders in the back at the moment.
That's, you know, that's a pretty good role for him, I'm not going to lie.
At the moment, yeah.
Well, let's see.
Here we go.
Oh, God, yes, he locks down the SCVs. I was waiting for it. STC, what do you have to combat this army? It doesn't look like anything. Those units are so low now, the Broodlords are cleaning up the rest. And despite the massive advantage that STC may have gained himself in the early part of this game, it looks like a lot of that is being thrown away now.
Yes, it is. Some remaining fungal growths going down on the final Marines. A lot less supply right now for our Terran player than our Zerg, and it looks like Seal may have actually done it. Really being tricky with those tech switches. Really well played game by him.
No kidding. All right, so that's everything going to go down. And SDC, what can you make now? You've gone through your banked resources. You've got like 4 Marines inside of the main. Really all you're sitting on is 32 SCVs, and I'm afraid that's not going to cut it against Infestor Broodlord Ultra Corruptor.
3,400 gas as well. GG.
Wow.
For the SDC, and Anis Hossa takes the lead 2-1.